My Lords, like other noble lords, I congratulate my noble friend Lord Sandhurst on his maiden speech and welcome him to the House, where I am sure he will make a wonderful contribution. My Lords, I welcome much that is in this very large bill, and while I realise the provisions on protest are controversial, I do actually welcome the clarity they bring on the limits to legitimate protest. As the Deputy Assistant Commissioner Matt Twist of the Metropolitan Police has said, whatever the cause, activists do not have the right to cause unreasonable and serious disruption to communities. And I agree with that. I personally compare it to secondary picketing, an attempt to disrupt people who are not decision makers in order to embarrass the true decision makers. We outlawed secondary picketing, and no one would now bring it back. It will, I think, be the same in this case. But I do have three areas of concern I'd like to bring to the House's attention, which are united by what I call a theme of preventative justice. My Lords, there was a movie some years ago in which preventative justice was taken to a point of refinement, whereby merely having a thought with a criminal intention resulted in a raid by the police on your premises to ensure that you were unable to put it into execution. I've never thought that a particularly British or commendable or desirable approach to the administration of justice, but it appears to have had a powerful effect on successive Home Secretaries. So, starting in 1998, we have the ASBOs, and from that we've gone on to have a whole quiverful of administrative processes that place restrictions on people without the tedium of having to have a criminal conviction proven. And this bill adds a further arrow to that quiver in the shape of the Serious Violence Reduction Order. Other noble lords have spoken about this, and they've also pointed out that this, coupled with the proposed statutory duty to collaborate on public authorities, raises, in relation to serious violence, prospective serious violence, that is, in order to prevent serious violence, these points raise important questions about the character of criminal justice in this country and about how it's evolved, and also about equalities. Now, my second concern continues the threat of preventative justice, and I find myself in troubling agreement with the noble and learned Lord Falconer of Thoroton and certain other noble lords who have spoken on the question of indeterminate sentences. Much of what I was going to say has been made otiose by the compelling speech laden with statistics made by the noble and learned Lord Brown of Eton under Heywood. So I don't need to spend a great deal of time on that. But the fact that there are so many people who are still languishing in prison under this cruel sentence, which has been found to be incompatible with our obligations on human rights, is simply a shame to this country. And we should set in hand, and this bill gives us a useful opportunity, we should set in hand a process, a judicially led process, for turning these sentences into determinate sentences. Finally, the bill presents, and again presents an opportunity, again this is not in the bill but I think should be, to put an end to the Kafkaesque practice of police forces that maintain records of actions that are explicitly not criminal. That is, the sort of Monty Python, self-contradictory, non-crime hate incident. If there is any defence for this, it is again on the basis of preventative justice. We want to know these things because although they're not criminals, not crimes, by definition they're not crimes, well, there might be a crime sometime in the future. And I don't think this is at all defensible, so I hope that at committee stage there will be an opportunity to address those three areas at least, to discuss them, and I hope for the government to take the opportunity to put right these issues and to bring back to our justice system a little less of the sort of administrative preemption and a little more of proving things, perhaps, on the basis of evidence and facts.